Hi, my name is Pam Denny. I'm the designer and architect of the Maximo BI or Business Intelligence tools. In this series of demos, we are exploring the Cognos products that you are entitled to with the Maximo76 release, and specifically Cognos Workspace Advanced. As you can see from the screen here, in our last demo recording, we left off at the point where we had created a list report in Cognos Workspace Advanced, but then we added these two charts shown up here. And after we created these two charts and we saved them, we want to go to the next step and have this information not only display here that someone could launch to from Cognos Connection, but in a dashboard. And the beauty of using a dashboard is I can use charts from multiple reports, however I may want to create that chart or that information. So let me go ahead and do that. I want to launch to Cognos Workspace and let's create that individual dashboard. So to do that, I'm going to go back to my Cognos connection. From my launch page, go to Cognos Workspace. And as that page loads, it's going to give me the option to create something new or to open an existing one. And I'm actually going to create something new. Now with Maximo76, you are delivered a number of different workspaces, and you could choose to utilize those, create your own, modify the ones we deliver, whatever you want to do. I do have to note that the ones that we deliver, we actually created those reports in Report Studio, and I'm showing you a much simplified version so you can get up and running with these tools very, very quickly. So what happens? So as soon as I open up Cognos Workspace, it's a much simplified version. This is my palette or my content pane where I add my information. And notice over here on the far right hand side, this is where my content is. And I can open up the various my folders or my public folders and see the content that I can add. As I mentioned, if you look under the public 7.6 folder, here's all the content that we deliver to you out of the box, the different workspaces and reports that you can add in. Well, you wouldn't add a workspace, excuse me, but you could potentially add some content from the existing reports. But let's use what we actually created, which was this work order backlog demo report, and it was under the My folders. Now remember when I created those charts and I said it was really important to give them a name that you can quickly identify with because you want to make sure you're bringing over the right information. Well, let's grab our first chart and let's see what it looks like. And as this displays, here's my estimated cost work order. So remember back in Cognos Workspace Advanced, this is what it is here. And now as I'm building up my workspace, I'm bringing over that report. And let's bring over our other report. So now I have my estimated cost work order backlog and my estimated duration. Interesting information. So let's work with these a little bit and let's see what we might want to add. Well, one thing that always kind of interests me is I want to filter on this, right? Because what might be interesting to me as a user may or may not be interesting to somebody else. So like Cognos Workspace Advanced, here's the Content tab, move over to the toolbox and see what kind of information that you can add to your workspace. Well, let's start with something very, very simple. Let's give it a name, and I'm going to call this my make sure I put this in here, work order backlog workspace. And let's make our font a little bit different. Let's go, I don't know, I can't even say that, veranda. Hope I have that right. And let's put that in there, and I'm going to open that up a little bit more later. Let's try our size. Let's make it big enough so we can read it without needing reading glasses. Work order workspace, beautiful. And again, I could do all sorts of beautiful things, italics, funky colors, whatever I might need to do. And I've got that information in there. What else might I want to do with this workspace? Well, I see this slider filter. Love a slider filter. That's a way for me to measure, excuse me, something, but to use a slider filter, I actually need to have a integer. I could potentially do a slider filter on something like priority. I don't think I can have anything here, but let me just add it to see if it's showing anything. Well, let's see what happens if I did it on estimated duration. And you can start to see how it could potentially work. And I could filter down different values. If I wanted to go estimated duration is between 200 and 400. Look how quickly that reformats the data. Or I could open it up all the way. Whoops, there you go. And that shows you how a slider filter works. I'm actually really not too keen on that, so I think I'm just going to remove my slider filter. That's called a widget. And let's instead bring over a select value filter. What do we want to do our filters on? Well, how about supervisor? Look at all those supervisors we have. Yeah, let's do it on supervisor. And let me move things around. So again, this is a beautiful way for you to work with the data that you want. Bring that over here, and let's see what happens with our um, supervisors when I start to format or get rid of some of these information. Well, let me take out Ford and Connolly and Coleman and Wayne. Let's see what happens. I apply, and my data automatically refreshes. So you can see immediately how this would be so helpful for someone to get that information they need. Maybe only those supervisors in their facility. Maybe if I'm supervisor, Smith, I'm going to filter so I only see the information that I might have or be interested in. And then we could do the same thing with, let's grab another one of those value filters. Oh, make sure you grab it, Pam. Put it here. And let's grab work type and click OK. Now remember, it's only going to show the work types that I had available within my charts. And if you remember, I had selected a bunch of those to not be included out of the box. I think there was like major and minor, all those type of work types I had already filtered out, so they won't show as available. And then, it's really nice here. Click on properties, make this a little bit nicer. This is my work type filter. Excuse me, show the title, put that right there. Again, select your filter value, my properties. Let's call this my supervisor filter, right? Supervisor filter. Exactly. Okay. Perfect. Oops, and I forgot to click that little flag. I'm not sure why that isn't selected by default, but it's not, so we don't want to complain. We just want to take that little action to put the X in there, and there we go. Now we get the information that we need. So this is really interesting, but I want to snazz it up a little bit more, really make it appealing to my users. So I'm gonna, play around, move things around. You can see how easy it is to drag and drop. The other thing I want to do is maybe I want to edit my style. So I'm going to click Edit Tab Style, and I can come over here and I want to say I want to override, and I want to set the color. Let's make things really dramatic so they pop. So I'm going to grab the black, watch what happens. Wow, just looks to me, really, really visual, very dynamic. I'm going to open these up because maybe some people in my facility are like me and they need to see things really big so they can exactly understand what's going on. We'll open those up, bring over your title. Here's my two different filters. The other thing maybe I want to do is I want to add an image, right? I want to add my corporate image. So when you add an image, you have to, the easiest thing to do, I should say, is that the image is already located in your Cognos server. So I have a little cheat sheet here just to show you exactly how that's done. I'll bring it up in Notepad. But basically, when you want to add an image to your workspace, you just copy them to your Cognos server. And there's a default image folder. So here's the path right here, Cognos C10, depending on where you installed Cognos, Web Content Sample Images. And you just paste your corporate logos there, whatever else you might need to. And once you have them pasted there or copied there, then you just basically copy over the path for that sample images. And I'll show you right here. Put it right in the widget. Click preview. Make sure you got the right one. There's the IBM Blue. We're going to go ahead and take him. And then you're going to resize your image because Cognos doesn't know what size your images are. So you have to make sure they fit just right. And I can bring him over here a little bit more. There's my IBM logo. Maybe I want to do another one. I'm going to come over here. Again, go back to your cheat sheet. I'm going to grab this one here. It's one of my favorite images. I think this is really nice. Click preview. Yep, that's the guy I want. Everything's all connected. The IoT. And bring him over there. Really, really simple. Are you liking the way it looks? Do you want to change your title here? Maybe I want to make this a little bit flashier. I think I have to do it over here. Maybe I want to make, my color now a dark red so it pops a little bit more. Again, and then restore, go back. A lot of different ways, a lot of different things that you can do. But you can see, again, it's just so much fun to work with, so dynamic, so easy to build up this powerful content. I've added 2 filters, I've got 2 graphs. Now the way you can also build it is through tabs. And here on the tab on the bottom, oops, don't shut down my computer, Pam. I might want to rename this. Double click on that tab and we'll call it graphs. Okay, and then I might want to save it at this point. Let's see, over here, save as. I'm going to still put it in my folders because I'm still working on this workspace. Might want to change it a little bit more. Let me call save. And after that's done, come back over here. Let's add a new tab. And click on that and let's name him details. Okay. And again, how am I going to do this really quickly? Let's go back to the content tab. Let's bring over, where was I? I was under the demo report. Those are the 2 graphs I had. Here's my list. Oh, beautiful. Love how this displays so quickly. Open him up. Somebody wants the details. They can come to this portion and see all the details that they might want to see. Again, I can come here and edit my tab style, bring over that same color. I want to override the value, so I come over and set my color as black, make the information pop, and come back here and click Save. So once I've done that, look at what I've done. In a matter of minutes, I've created a dashboard. A lot of things that you can still do with it, but again, showing you the basics, how to add text, how to add some filters, how to add some images to build really nice popping content for your users. And then your users would be able to access them. How do they do that? If I go back home, I want to go home. He brings me back to the Cognos portal, depending on where I had saved it. Everything that I've done here in the demo is under my folders. Here's my report that I could access, and here's my workspace. And here you can see it's highlighted by that type of quadrant, like a workspace would show. And boom, there's my information. And if I always want to make sure that I get the latest information, come over here. Refresh is going to make sure it's going to go out to the database, pull the latest information so my users always have that content available to them. So with that, that concludes our demo here on how we created a workspace in Cognos Workspace Advanced and then brought that content over here in Cognos Workspace to give your users that dynamic visual information they need. So thank you very much for your time.